Good evening. Good evening. Finally, we might have some good news. Atletico could come to our rescue and get Granit Xhaka away from our club. They are in talks with Man City right now, Atletico, over a £63 million deal to sell Man City their midfielder Rodri. And they want a replacement. Their replacement that they're lining up is, believe it or not, Granit Xhaka. They must be smoking some Spanish high grade or something. I swear down, they are smoking some off-key weed over in Madrid right now if they think Granit Xhaka is the answer to their problems. So, but that all bodes well for us. It's a problem that we can get rid of if that goes through, and if that happens. Obviously, it's only speculation right now, but the fact that they're even looking at Granit Xhaka would suggest that that they're not all there, if I'm being completely honest. I don't get what they see in the guy. I don't get what anybody sees in the guy. He's an absolute liability. So one-footed, it is unbelievable. Every time the ball comes to him on his right foot, he has to take a touch and put it onto his left, by which time he's pressed, he's closed down, he gives the ball away, and then he's rash. And he lashes out, gives away free kicks, gives away penalties. We'll see the penalty against Brighton. So, yeah, he didn't even look like he cared when he gave that penalty away. And that was a crucial game in our season to get us into the top four. And it didn't look like he even cared. He just walked off, not caring the world. Thanks for that, Rob. I would be happy to see that man go. So would I, my friend. But listen, like I said, the guy has given away more errors leading to goals than Mustafi. And that's saying something, especially when he's a midfielder and Mustafi is closer to the goal. You know, it's just like, I don't get how anyone sees that Granit Xhaka is a fantastic player. I just genuinely do not get it. I don't see what they're seeing. You know, yeah, the guy can spray a 60-yard diagonal every now and again. Whoopie-doo. I'd rather a guy that can tackle, that can track runners, that can smell danger, can sense danger, and cheers, VP, and can actually pass forward. You know, like this guy, yeah, he might have good pass accuracy stats. The majority of his passes are sideways or backwards, and like I said, he's very rash. Yes, this season he's been a lot better than he has been in previous seasons, but it's no coincidence that with him in our midfield, we haven't managed to get Champions League football since he's been here. So, all in all, if they do come in and they do get him, then I will be over the moon. That will be a massive step forward for our club. So the fee reported for that is around the £40 million mark. And I would rip their arms off for it right now. I don't think he's ever been good enough for Arsenal. He'd probably look great in Spain. It's a slower tempo of football, like he did in Germany. You know, Germany, you get more time on the ball. It's less intense, less quick. And it'd look good in Spain. So let's be real. It'd probably be a good move for him. They're a decent team. They're in Champions League, I think. Are they in the Champions League this season? I think they've qualified for Champions League. So why would he not want to go there? He's got the sun on his back. I'm thinking of all the avenues for this guy to go. You know, London's, you know, grey. It's overcast. It's raining. You know, this is supposed to be summer. And it's hammering down with rain. So, yeah, I think Madrid's the right spot right now. So hopefully this comes through, and hopefully that the deal for Rodri to Man City goes through, which means that they then come in for Xhaka. So that's the reports that are going around at the moment. The fact that Rodri is on the verge of signing for Man City for £63 million. He's seen to be the successor for Fernandinho. Very good player. Very good player. Is he worth the 63 million? Who cares? Man City don't. They're going to spend it anyway. So let's read some of these comments out. Granit Eagle Eye, don't dig tease me. Go and subscribe to Granit Eagle Eye if you haven't already. Great content on his channel. Scroll back up to the comments, find his icon and click on it, and you can subscribe there. Joshua, thank you for that. I hope this goes through for Xhaka. So do I. I mean, listen, it's only in the early stages. There's only Spanish media outlets and a couple of English ones talking about it right now. But, you know, at the end of the day, like I said, Man City are very close to signing Rodri. Atletico need a replacement, and apparently they have sounded out Granit Xhaka as a possible replacement. So I'd be absolutely over the moon. That'd be the first of about 4 or 5 overrated, overpaid, overhyped players at this club that need to get out. And If he goes, I'll be over the moon. I'll be absolutely over the moon with it, because I think he's just been absolutely shocking since he's been here. You know, he walks around the pitch, he don't care. He's got no pace about him. He's so one-footed. Yes, he can ping a shot every now and again, but most of the time it ends up in the crowd or trickling just past the post. So, you know, when you look at his goals this season, he scored against Newcastle away. That was a free kick that the goalkeeper flapped into the net. Yes, it was a good effort. I think he scored against Palace. That was a great free kick, to be fair. And he scored against United. And let's be real, David De Gea had a mare on that one. So, you know, he doesn't really offer a massive threat in terms of goals. He doesn't offer a massive threat in terms of creating chances or anything like that. Yes, he may be the link man. It might be a certain different position. Thank you, Jake. Appreciate that, buddy. But at the end of the day, this guy slows our game right down to the point where he invites pressure. And then as soon as the pressure is put on us, he flops. And he can't deal with that pressure. He can't get his feet sorted out quick enough, because he is so one-footed. He's so left-footed that in the end, he ends up giving away fouls and free kicks and penalties and giving the ball away. How many times has he been passing the ball across the pitch straight to one of their players to go clean for on goal? Against Wolves this season, early in the season at home, he just let the ball run past him. They went through and scored. And it's like, you know, at the end of the day, I just think that, you know, if they do actually genuinely want him, that is a massive step forward for our club, because that is a player that wasn't worth 35 million quid in the first place. It's a player that's not worth reportedly 75 to 90 grand a week. And it's a player that has signed a new contract recently, I think. I think he's still got 4 years left on this current deal. So we can command a fee for him. The Swiss Charlie Adam. That's about right, mate. Although Charlie Adam can ping a shot from halfway and score. I'm not sure Xhaka can. Mr. Sideways and Backwards. And that is him. That is that guy. He is sideways and backwards. So, listen, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'll be over the moon if it does happen. But at the end of the day, I think it needs to happen, because he ain't going to get any better for us. Let's be real. Why would he get better? There's nothing to lead me to suggest that this guy is going to get better for us. And people can say, oh, well, he needed a Torreira-type player around him. He needs better defenders behind him. Absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish. At the end of the day, if you were a good player, you were a good player, no matter who you were playing with. And I don't see that with this guy. Nuno, thank you very much for your donation, mate. Lee, are you sure this will happen? I will come find you if this transfer doesn't go through. I'm not saying it's happening. I'm just saying that they're reported to want Granit Xhaka as a replacement to Rodri, who's going to go to Man City for about 60-odd million quid. So, listen, at the end of the day, if, like I said, if you're a good player, you do not need other good players around you to be a superstar, to be a good player and to stand out and be head and shoulders above the rest. At the end of the day, Lacazette has played in the same team as Granit Xhaka this season. Lacazette, yes, he's a different type of player. Yes, he plays further up the pitch. But at the end of the day, we can all see Lacazette's quality in a bad team, right? This team ain't great. Let's all be realistic here. Our team is crap, right? But Lacazette stood out to be head and shoulders above the majority of that team for the majority of the season. So, you know, Granit Xhaka, yes, he does have the odd good performance here and there, but it's mainly overshadowed by his lack of ability and the fact that he costs us so many goals with stupid errors and stupid free kicks and penalties and stuff like that. You know, ducking in the wall on free kicks, and it's like, you know, come on, man, really, we need proper midfielders. I said this on the stream yesterday, right? At the end of the day, if you want to play a 4-3-3, which is what Unai Emery's apparently wanting to do, you have to have 3 midfielders in that midfield that are all capable and are all very good footballers. But not only that, they've all got the work rate and they're not lax on the ball. They're not lazy and carefree, if that makes sense. Demetrios, thank you for that, my friend. It isn't a coincidence that we finished 5th, 6th and 5th because Granit, the Muppet Xhaka, when everything goes wrong, he pisses about and blames everyone. Do you know what? You're absolutely spot on there. He is basically the Swiss version of Matthew Flamini with his finger pointing. That's all he does. Starts pointing fingers. You know, and people are trying to tip this guy to be our club captain. Like, really? What's that all about? You know, are we really that bad that he's going to be our captain? You know, it's like I just genuinely am baffled that people think not only is he a good footballer and he should be at this club, but he should be captain of this club. It's like, wow, like I just genuinely do not get. You are acting like you have sold him with that thumbnail, mate. I'm just happy that somebody's linked to buying him, bruv. Yeah, at the end of the day, he has to be one of the first ones out. You know, like I've said, we can command a transfer fee. It'll be a big transfer fee, or relatively big. You know, it'll be about the £40 million mark, which is more than we paid for the guy. So, you know, we then get his wages off the wage bill. We can then go and reinvest that money into something that's better quality, that'll give us better work rate, 2-footed, not just 1-footed. Somebody that can link the play a lot better than him. And we've all sat here all season laughing at Gjorgjievski down at Chelsea. Well, I'll tell you saying now, right? That guy is a hell of a lot better than Granit Xhaka. So we can laugh all we like. Let's read some of these questions and comments out. Xhaka isn't even the best midfielder in his house, says High Five Photography. They must give us party in return. Do you know what? He's a very good player, Sifiso. He's a very, very good player, that kid. Maybe there is a deal to be done there, but then saying that, they then would have lost 2 of their midfielders. They're going to lose Rodri to City. They're then going to lose Party to us if we do that. So I'm not so sure that they'd be open to that, but then obviously it would free up the Rodri money to go towards another midfielder. So it's a possibility, but obviously it's all speculation at this point. You know, at the end of the day, I'm just over the moon that somebody is actually linked with Xhaka, and it's not come from somebody pretending to be his cousin or his brother-in-law or whatever that was all about, linking him to a massive move to Inter Milan. This is actually coming from Spanish media outlets and a couple in England that are suggesting that because Rodri is going to City, that they're going to sound out Granit Xhaka as a replacement for him. So, listen, I'm all for that. That would be a massive, massive boost. And I've said previously on streams that at the end of the day, the most important business we can do this summer isn't the ones we buy, it's the ones we get rid of. Because if the likes of Mustafi, Xhaka, Mesut Ozil are still here come the first game of the season away to Newcastle, then we're in big, big, big problems. And I can see us finishing lower than 6th if that is the case. Because it'll mean that we can't adopt the style of play that we want to play. We can't do the formations that we want to play, the 4-3-3, because then you've still got Ozil, you've still got Xhaka. That is not strong enough 2 out of 3 in midfield. You need to have stronger players that are more technically good on the ball. Granit Xhaka ain't technically good. You know, all he does is get the ball and pass it on sideways, you know, as the odd shot, and that's about it. You know, pings a 60-yard diagonal. Yeah, it's a great crowd pleaser, but come on, man, how many times has he done that in a season? He tries it, once every 3 games. And if he pulls it off, yeah, fantastic. But some of these comments are funny, man. I would love Saul at Arsenal, Roy the boy. Do you know what? He's a very good player as well. Very underrated as well, that geezer. Very good player, man. In fact, do you know what? Most of that Atletico team are underrated players, mate. They don't get enough credit for what they actually achieve. Who the hell has been scouting from Atletico to going for Granit Xhaka? He must be on sank. I would sign Decore, says Arsenal Vlogs. Yep. And Didi or Decore, says João Pereira. Both of them. Listen, both of them. And at the end of the day, the money we could get for Granit Xhaka, and let's be real, Granit Xhaka don't owe us anything. Yes, he signed a contract, but you know, if Atletico Madrid come in, it's going to be very difficult for him to say no anyway. You know, why wouldn't he move to Madrid? I'd move to Madrid. You know, if somebody was coming in for me and could offer Champions League football, could offer me the sun on my back every day, living in a beautiful city, you know, and you know, playing with some top players, then why wouldn't you want to go there? You know, at the end of the day, their careers are short. So if somebody comes in for him, like Atletico Madrid, then it'd be very tempting for him, because let's be real, we can't offer anything right now as a football club apart from Europa League and a half decent pay packet. Right now, at the end of the day, this guy has been here for 3 seasons, and what has he actually achieved in 3 seasons? What has he done? Can somebody tell me 5 man of the match performances that guy has put in for us? Because I struggle to find one. Yes, he's had good games every now and again. Against Liverpool at home, I thought he was fantastic. I remember him chasing back Mohamed Salah and slide tackling him in the box. But, you know, the week before that, he was letting the ball run away from him. Or the week after, he's letting the ball run away from him and letting Jota go clean through to score against us for Wolves. So, excuse me. So, you know, he's too inconsistent. He's never going to be good enough to get us to where we want to be as a club. And where we want to be is challenging for titles, not challenging to get in the top 4. Yes, that's the first step, but he ain't even good enough for that. We've seen that for 3 seasons. So I just think that if this is true, then book him a first-class jet right now, fly him over there and do the deal as quick as we can, reinvest that money into somebody else. Granit Eagle Eye says Barella or Decore to replace him. Let's see. Do you know what? I did in my daily transfer update this morning, I mentioned about Barella. I think he's very close to signing for Inter Milan. There's a lot of clubs that are looking at him, sorry. But I think he is on the verge of signing for Inter Milan. I think they're going to chuck a couple of players in the mix as well. So I would like to see Barella. I think he'd be a decent player for us. I don't think that happened. Decore could happen. You know, no disrespect to Watford, but why would he want to not join Arsenal to stay at Watford? So, yeah, Decore would be a fantastic signing. And let's be real, he's got more about him than Granit Xhaka. We need Mesut Ozil gone as well. Excuse me. Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. My nan could replace Granit Xhaka, should do a better job. If the failure signings remain, does Stan need to invest in short term to make the club self-sufficient in the long run? Do you know what? To be honest, mate, he ain't going to throw any money at it. I think we all know that. There is ways around financial fair play. You know, we've seen that with the City owners. They can go and build a training complex and get another one of their businesses to sponsor it for about 400 million quid. And that gets offset on financial fair play. We haven't got that type of owner that's going to go and build a training complex or a car park or something and get Walmart to sponsor it. He wouldn't do that. Sadly, he won't do that. But, you know, at the end of the day, we chose this self-sufficient model before he arrived. So, you know, we can't all be sat here all upset about self-sufficiency when that was what the club wanted way before he even brought any stakes in the club. So, you know, we've got the owner for what the board and the shareholders wanted. So, you know, that is unfortunately where we're at with it right now. I'd love nothing more than a Sheikh Mansour to come in and spend 2 billion quid and make us win everything. But sadly, it won't happen, mate. Arsenal should have gone in for Pablo Fornells. It's a shame he went to West Ham, says the random vlog. He's a very good player as well, mate. Very good player. For 27 million quid, West Ham seems to have got themselves a bit of a bargain there, mate. Official Moki in the building, my bro. I swear, you are the busiest guy on the planet right now. Love you, bruv. I'm coming to see you in Dubai in December, bruv. Trust me. Yeah, just hook me up with a hotel and I'll book it. Aaron, thank you for that, my friend. Appreciate that. Tierney is a must. He'd be 60 million if he was English. Can only beat what's put in front of you. Do you know what? He is an absolutely fantastic left back, mate. So yeah, I agree. If he was English, then yeah, it'd be double the price easily. So I think we could do a lot worse than going and signing Tierney. There's this lad that we're linked with today from Southampton. I'm not sure whether Tierney is going to be somebody who we go and buy, but I'd love nothing more than to have him at left back because, like I've said before, I don't rate Kolasinac one bit, and Nacho Monreal is all but finished. So yeah, nearly 700 people watching this live. Wow, thank you. Only 89 likes, so please put a like on the video if you are enjoying it. Hit the share button as well, gets the content out there. Right, let's do another 10 minutes of these questions and comments, and I'm going to get myself out of here. I will be back at 9 o'clock tonight. I'll be doing a longer stream than yesterday. Sorry about that. It was only a 20-minute stream yesterday, but I will do a longer one tonight. I had a few things to do yesterday. For those, excuse me, who wondering where my daily transfer update was. I didn't hear my alarm, and then I had a meeting to go to, so I wouldn't have had time after waking up late to get the video out before getting to the meeting. So that's why it was this afternoon. Would you sell Gwyn Doozy if PSG came in with 70 million, says Pratik Palmer? Yes, I would, mate. I'd sell him for half of that, if I'm being honest. £8 million. If you can make 30 million, 28 million, whatever, after one season where he's looked very good. And don't get me wrong, I think he's been very good. There's definitely room for improvement. He's looked a headless chicken at times. But if somebody comes in and bids 30, 40, 50, 60 million for him, sell him, man. Do you think we will get any big name player, says Coxie HD? I think we will. I'm not sure who that player will be, but I do think we'll get one. When's the Puma deal end? I want to buy the new kit. I think it ends on the 30th of this month, mate, and then the new kit's out the following day. I believe. I'm not 100% sure that it's coming out on the 1st of July, but I'm pretty sure it is. DJ Fury, thanks, mate. Appreciate that. Have a nice evening to you as well. Soccer Aid had better players than Granit Xhaka. Do you think Arsenal will sign Vidal from Barcelona? No, mate, I don't. I genuinely don't. I think that ship sailed about 5 years ago. Malcolm, says Mohammed 10. I'd take Malcolm. I think for the sort of money they want for him, I think that's not really a risk. You know, if he comes in and doesn't really do it, you can sell him for about the same sort of money you brought him for. So I don't see that being a big risk, if I'm being honest. And yeah, I would take him. He can play all across that front line as well, left, right, and attacking midfield. So he could fit into 3 different positions, depending on who Emery wants to play in that front line and depending what the opposition is. So Kartik says Matt Target. I don't know anything about him, right? But people have told me on my daily transfer video that he scored. He crossed the ball in for Southampton's 3rd goal against us. I don't even remember seeing him play in that game, although I was absolutely fuming that we lost that game. So that's probably why. But I was actually shocked when I read his stats earlier that he's played 21 league games or 21 games this season for Southampton. So yeah, but for 10 million quid, it's worth it, I think. It's cheap. He can cross a ball. We've seen that when he's played against us. So that's instantly an improvement on Kolasinac, who can't cross a ball. Can he defend, though? That is the question. I think he was on loan at Fulham. Is he good enough? And this is the thing. I know a lot of Arsenal fans are getting the ump right now. The fact that we are linked to players that Norwich and Everton and Fulham and Southampton and teams like that are linked with. And obviously fans are getting the ump with that. But all I'd say is, like, let's just chill for now. Let's just chill out. Let's just see after the kit if the kit gets announced, and then we go and sign a couple of players before our pre-season tour. I think that'll ease everyone's nerves a little bit. I think everyone will be a little bit happier. And I think that, you know, that'll put us in good stead for our pre-season, taking some new signings with us. But we've got to get them new signings in first. And that is always something that Arsenal keep quiet. They never come out publicly and admit they're in for players. So I don't see that being any different this summer. Obviously, it's not right now. We're linked to everyone. They're even linked to me right now. So, you know, at the end of the day, we've just got to sit back, be patient, let everyone else do the talking. Let all the players we're linked with do the talking. They all like to talk to these players. So let them all do the talking, and we see what happens soon as the kit is launched. If that kit is launched and we go to America on our pre-season tour and we have not signed a player, yes, I will be fucking fuming. Because we will literally have less than a month to sign players and get them bedded in for the start of the season. So if we don't sign a player before we fly out to America, expect a bit of a rant, because I'll be so pissed off. But right now I'm quite chill because I know the Adidas kit's out soon. So I think that could be holding things up. Apparently we're going to, that Martinelli, the young Brazilian kid, apparently that's done and dusted, terms agreed, fee agreed. Just waiting on a work permit. So is he good enough to go straight in the first team? I don't know. I'm not too sure about that. But You never know. Sometimes with these South American players, they can come in and be absolutely superb, like a Gabriel Jesus came in and just absolutely slapped it for City. But then you've got a Wellington Silva on the opposite side of the spectrum. So, you know, I don't know. But for £6 million, if he does turn out to be absolutely brilliant, that's a great bit of business. But only time will tell on that. Can we sell at Iwobi ASAP? Do you know what? Yeah, cheers, VP. Do you know what? I wouldn't sell him right now. And I know a lot of people don't rate him. Listen, I don't think he's great, but I think that I used this as an example the other day, right? He's an attacking midfielder. He's not a left winger, right? If you put Mesut Ozil on the left wing for the whole season, would he have done the same output as Alex Iwobi? Because he didn't even do that in his right position this season. So, you know, I think we just need to lay off him a little bit and just see how he goes this season coming. If he don't cut it this season coming, get rid. Bilic should get a chance this season. A lot of people are saying that, mate. To be honest, I don't think he's good enough. I genuinely don't. But I may be wrong. And if he comes in and saves us a few quid, then I'm all for it. What do Atletico see in Granit Xhaka that we don't? I don't know. That's a good question, mate. El Neni and Jenkinson to Celtic for Tierney. I think the Celtic fans are going mad with that, Josh. But yeah, I'll take it. What do you think about Gjorgjievski? I think he's all right. I think he's a half-decent player. Is he good enough for the Premier League remains to be seen, though, mate. Who is your favourite current Arsenal player, says Amir Youssef. Lacazette for me, mate. Lacazette. Lacazette is my favourite player. Not that I'm a fanboy or anything like that. I think Lacazette's our best player. Dennis Pratt and Anderson are not good enough, says Abu. I think that remains to be seen, but I get why you're being sceptical about it, to be honest with you. But this is the thing, like, you know, this lad that we've signed from Ituano, this Brazilian kid, Martinelli. You know, yesterday a lot of people were questioning how I broke down a transfer and how it works. Right, so keep an eye on how much we spend this summer, because apparently our budget was 40 million. Well, we've just done 6 million on one kid, so that means we've got 34 million pound left to spend. So working on the way that everyone was telling me that I got it wrong yesterday, and that it's not paid over the length of the contract or in instalments and stuff like that. Let's just keep an eye on that for now. Right, I'm going to do 5 more minutes and then I am going to get out of here. Chris Anwar says, Realist Gooner Online, keep doing your thing. Look forward to your daily content. Thank you, mate. Appreciate the kind words, buddy. Sergio, thank you, my friend. If we build a team around Torreira, we could be competing in 2 years. I kind of agree with that. I think that it all depends on Torreira now. You know, obviously, he's linked with AC Milan. The manager of Sampdoria is now the manager of AC Milan. They obviously worked together when he was at Sampdoria. So yeah, I think that is a possibility. You know, I think that if we build a team around him, then yeah, we're definitely better. That's for sure. But it depends who you put around him, because I do think that he's come in. I do think he's, like I've said before, I think he had a 7 out of 10 season. I think he started off really well once he got his chance in the team, but then he got injured. He came back in, and he was just never the same. Really, I think he looked a little bit burnt out. But again, he's another one. If somebody comes in with a big enough offer, get rid of him. You know, at the end of the day, if we can reinvest this money and we can make a nice little profit off of Torreira or anybody else for that matter, then get rid of them. You know, this is the same squad of players that have finished 5th. Yeah, so we don't owe any of these players anything. So if somebody comes in, bang, get rid if it's the right money. Right, let's do a few more of these. Thanks to the 740 odd people watching live right now. If you are enjoying it, put a like on the video. Thank you for over 18,000 people. That's mad that are subscribed to this channel. Really appreciate that. I see a comment up here. I've lost it now. It's gone. About Man United wanting a Aubameyang for 70 million. Do you know what? It was funny because I was actually going to talk about that, and then I see the story about Granit Xhaka, and I thought I'd go with that instead. But yeah, apparently Goldstein, I think it is, off Talksport, has said that he's got an insider at Man United. All this crap these people come out with. He's got an insider at Man United who has called many deals over the years. He called the Martial deal before it happened, and blah, blah, blah. And apparently he's saying that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants a Aubameyang for £70 million. Okay, mate. Nuno says, I appoint Lee Gunnar as Arsenal financial guru. Your explanations concerning our transfer procedures were spot on. Thank you, mate. A lot of people didn't understand what I was trying to say. A lot of people seem to think that transfer fees are paid up in one hit up front. That ain't the case. It's easy to go and Google it and you can find out for yourself. A lot of people are saying, I'd rather believe Perez than believe somebody on YouTube. Yeah, that's fine. That's cool. Perez knows more than you. I didn't say I know more than Perez, you know? So I'm just trying to explain to people that think that transfers are paid up front, that they're not necessarily paid up front. So let's read some more of these. Your channel is growing fast. Pleased for you, mate. Thank you, Barry. I appreciate the kind words, mate. Do you know any football agent in the Premier League personally? No, I don't, Amir. I don't. Manu can have a Aubameyang, says Matty. Mate, could you imagine the meltdown if we sold him to Man United? Jesus Christ, mate. Especially after Van Persie going there a few seasons back as well. Could you imagine it? I think I would say there'd be riots at the Emirates, but there probably wouldn't be, mate. There probably wouldn't be. They'd just accept it. But the online meltdown would be pretty spectacular. Sanchez as well, yeah, I forgot Sanchez as well. Sanchez went there, Van Persie went there. Do you imagine if Aubameyang went there as well? Jesus Christ. Aubameyang and Lukaku in the same team would be hilarious, says King Kazuma. Apparently they're going to try and get rid of Lukaku, which is why they want Aubameyang. But listen, it was Goldstein off of Talksport who said that. Whether that's got any legs to it whatsoever, I don't know, mate. What's worth lifetime Xhaka and Mustafi contract or another world war, says Sergio. I think world war, mate. I think. But thanks for your donation, buddy. I appreciate that. Sanchez scored for Chile. Yeah, he got man of the match last night, apparently. He played really well. Got an assist, got a goal, and got man of the match. It's amazing what happens when the guy's happy, isn't it? You know, at the end of the day, I still say that guy was the best player we've had in the Emirates era. Best player we've had, him and Fabregas. Both of them, absolute brilliant players, man. And the fact we gave him to Man United for Mkhitaryan, unbelievable business. Shocking. Give us 200 million quid and you can have a Aubameyang. Any views on Platini, says Brett Gould Music? Well, Michel Platini, he's a crook, mate. Fantastic footballer back in his day. But he is a crook. Him and Sepp Blatter, crooks. Pogba for Aubameyang, says Saeed. Mate, I don't want Pogba anywhere near our club, mate. That guy is... Nah, mate. That guy... he turns up when he feels like it, more so than some of our players, you know. So yes, when he turns up, he is world class. Don't get me wrong, he is a brilliant player when he turns up. But you've got to question the guy's mentality. You know, he strolls around the pitch like dabbing and dancing and painting his hair silly colours. Yeah, and it's like, mate, why don't you just concentrate on football and concentrate on being the best midfielder in the world? If you do that, I'm sure you'll be up there with the best midfielders in the world. But he doesn't, and I do think he's going to leave. I do think they'll get rid of him. There's quite a few clubs looking at him as well, apparently. Just Smith Anderson says Pogba's overrated. Do you know what? I don't think he is overrated. I think that if he turned up and played consistently how he plays for 2 months straight, then he would be in the top 3 or 4 midfielders in the world. maybe even the top midfielder in the world, because I think he is a fantastic player. But he just turns up when he feels like it. He's got a shit attitude, mate, and that's his problem, you know. But when you've got the money, the fame, you know, and you're the highest earner in terms of wages, sponsorship, stuff like that at the club, then obviously that could go to your head. He's still a young lad as well. Let's be real. I think Granit Xhaka would do good in La Liga. So do I, mate. I'll fly him there today. Pogba is toxic, says Ashram. See, that's the thing, mate. Yeah, Pogba is very, very friendly with very, very friendly with a lot of that Man United team. And why wouldn't he be? They're all teammates, right? But the problem is they all look up to him. And as soon as he starts throwing a wobbly, they think that's cool. And it's the same with Mesut Ozil. I know he doesn't really throw a wobbly. Yes, he throws his coat around and walks off like he can't be asked at times. Like in the final, we walked off like we were 3-1 up, not 3-1 down. You know, he should have been going over and buzzing up Joe Willock to come on and get him into the game. But them types of players, Ozil and Pogba, are the types of players that young kids look up to, not just outside of football, but actually in the squad. Alex Iwobi will be looking at Mesut Ozil and saying, I want to be Mesut Ozil. I want to do what Mesut Ozil can do. You know, that's what he'll be doing. And if he sees Mesut Ozil walking around the pitch, he thinks he can do it. You know, well, that's the top earner. He can do it. So can I. Same with Pogba. If Pogba downs tools, the rest of them think it's fine to down tools, you know? And the fact that Pogba's come out and said some of the stuff about it, maybe he thinks it's time for a new challenge, mate. Man United, best thing they can do is get rid of the guy. Best dribbler at Arsenal currently, says Time Traveller. Based on last season, I'd say Iwobi. Based overall, I think probably Nelson. It just shows the lack of quality we've got, mate, to be honest. Thank you to over 800 people watching live. If you are enjoying it, you know what to do. Put a like on it, share the content. Like I keep telling you guys, there is a podcast coming when I hit 20,000 subscribers. I've already got 7 people lined up for that sit-down podcast. I don't know whether to do it monthly or weekly. I'm going to have a little think about that one, but it will be a podcast every month at least. Lacazette is the best dribbler. Do you know what? That's a fair shout, actually. His close control is very, very good, if I'm being honest. But do you know what? The one thing I'll say with Iwobi, there's not many players in the Premier League that can run full pelt with the ball at their feet and dribble and hold a man off as they're trying to go away from a guy. Iwobi is mad for doing that. It's just a shame his end product ain't that great. Demetrios, thank you, my friend. If we get Claude Maurice and Martinelli, how does that affect the under-23s and the under-18s that are trying to come up? That is a great question, mate. That is a very, very good question. I think, obviously, we've got Medley that can't get a game at the moment because we've got older players in the squad. Claude Maurice and Martinelli, obviously, they're forward-thinking players. Where would that leave Reece Nelson? Where would that leave Saka? Where would that leave Smith Rowe even, you know? And I don't know. I think that we should be going in for them types of players, Claude Maurice and Martinelli. Rightly so, Arsenal should go in for players like that. But at the same time, you've got to blood the youth through. And if you ain't going to do that, what's the point in a youth setup? In fact, actually, I'll answer my own question. The point in a youth setup is to make money. Because let's be real, Arsenal don't want any of them to make it. And if one does, then they've hit jackpot. If they sell them before they make it, they're still going to get anywhere between 1 million and 5 million quid, which is still a profit on their overall investment of having that kid from a young age, from 8 or 9 years old. So that's all a youth system is. Look at Chelsea. Chelsea have got the best youth setup in the world, you know, and it's the biggest money spinner in the world because all they do is use it to sell players on for fees to balance the books for financial fair play. And, you know, if one does make it, like Hudson-Odoi, then instantly he's worth 50 million quid because now Bayern Munich want him. Do you know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, man. Michael, thank you very much for that, mate. Greetings from Watford. Get well soon. Cheers. Yeah, I'm still a little bit under the weather. I've got this tickly cough, man, I swear. I'm not going to sit here and cry too much about it. I'm plodding on, but yeah, man, it's not been great the last 3 or 4 days, but thank you for that. I appreciate it, mate. One or two rules in football you would like to bring in or like to change, says Savin. That's a great question, mate. I'd get rid of VAR if that is a rule or a law or whatever. I think that's going to kill football. I think that there's a few that I'd change. You know, like penalties, right? This encroachment on penalties, that should be done, and I'm hoping that's going to be done on VAR, because if it ain't, what's the point in VAR? The amount of penalties that players run into the box on, that has to be sorted out. I'd also change the rule on diving. Yeah, if a player gets caught diving in a game by a referee, straight red card. Yeah, and people can say, "Oh, yeah, but you don't know whether they did it deliberately or whether there was intentional, to try and dive to try and con the ref." Yeah, you can tell that. You actually can tell that. You can tell when a player's falling over deliberately. Go and have a look at Harry Kane and Son and players like that, Dele Alli. They do it every week. If they don't get seen in game, then firstly, VAR ain't doing its job properly, and secondly, what's the point? And then they should be picked up after the game by looking back at it and be done retrospectively, and they should be done for a 3-match ban. And then if they do it again later in the season, 10-match ban. You watch how quick you stop diving. England under 21s could have 4 Leicester players starting tonight. Wow, that's mad. That is actually quality. Nice one, man. Cobster says you were reading my comments when you had lesser audience following this channel from the start. Bruv, I don't deliberately ignore anybody, man. These comments go so quick. You can see them coming in quick, man. I don't deliberately ignore people. So, yeah, if I do see your comment, mate, I will read it. So I appreciate that you've been here from day one as well. So thank you. Gary Nolan, would you swap Aubameyang and Lacazette for Neymar and Mbappe? Is that a trick question? VP says, tell the linesman to keep up. Do you know what? Not only the linesman, the referee as well, mate. Some of these referees are just clowns, mate. They look like Teletubbies. Who's the most favourite youth talent at Arsenal, says George James. For me, I'd say Smith Rowe. I think that he's got everything to succeed at the top level for a long, long time. I like Reece Nelson. I think he's quality. But we're going to find out this season if he plays. But I think Smith Rowe is the one. That guy could genuinely save us a fee for replacing Aaron Ramsey, because I think he could do the job already. The games we've seen him play, he hasn't looked overawed. He hasn't looked out of his depth. I think he could be a very good player. So hopefully he gets a lot of game time this season. I know he went on loan and it didn't quite work out because he got injured. But yeah, we shall see. Favourite ref, says Sergio. I like Andre Mariner. I'd have to agree with that if I'm being honest. I think he's probably the best ref. That's not saying a great deal because I don't think he's that great. But he probably is the best of a bad bunch. What do you think of Takuma Asano, says Ben? Yeah, that didn't quite work out for the lad, did it, mate? So, yeah, I ain't really got any thoughts on him, really, apart from it didn't quite work out for him. But we all knew that when we signed him. Tierney or Target, says Shaz2707. I'd go for Tierney personally. Name for your podcast has to be Let's Be Real, the League Gunner podcast. Cheers, mate. Nelson will hopefully start for the under-21s tonight, says Isaac. Yeah, that'd be nice to see him have a run out. And there's a lot of kids out there, man, playing in these tournaments. The Africa Cup of Nations is on as well. The Copa America, the under-21s tournament. There's a lot of football still going on. I'll be honest, I ain't watched a single minute of any of them. But, for some of these young kids, it's a great chance to go and put themselves out there and go and play games, because a lot of them don't get that chance week in, week out. They just play for the under-23s or the youth setups or whatever at their clubs. They don't actually get a run out. So, yeah, it's actually nice for them to go and get that run of games, What about Tillemans, says David Cunningham. I'd take Tillemans in a heartbeat, mate. That guy ripped us a new one. And I think he is a very good player, still very young. Would you swap Aubameyang and cash for Timo Werner, says Alvin Wong. I don't rate Timo Werner, if I'm being honest, mate. I don't. I don't rate him. I think he's just an all right player, you know. So no, I probably wouldn't, mate. Right, 3 more questions, and I'm going. I will be back at 9 o'clock. Thank you to over 800 people. It was 850 at one stage that were watching live. Put a like on the video if you're enjoying the content. That helps me out. What would you change about the referees in the Premier League, says Richard Kelly. What would I change about the referees? I'd change them full stop, mate. I'd change them. I said this ages ago, actually, about 7-8 months ago. What I would do, said it on the podcast with Gunnar Eagle Eye. What I would do is actually put all of the refs in the Premier League in Italy for a week and put the Italian refs over here. Then switch them to the Spanish league and put the Spanish refs over here and switch them up all around Europe. Just keep changing it up every week, because then that way, none of the referees have any level of bias towards certain players. You know, we all see the referee that sent off Maitland-Niles against Leicester. Yeah, it never touched him. That was never a second yellow card, never touched him. Yeah, but he sent him off. If that was an Italian referee or a Spanish or Dutch referee, would that have been the same outcome? I'm not so sure it would. You know, and I think that would be a great idea. How it would work, I'm not too sure, because obviously all the FAs would have to agree with it and stuff like that. But yeah, there we go. Favourite place to go on holiday? I've been absolutely loads of places on holiday. The best holiday I've had was with a mate of mine called Jay, and we went to spring break in Cancun. That was mad. That was absolutely mental. And it was stunning as well. Cancun's beautiful, man. But my favourite place, believe it or not, is Spain. I love it, man. It's 2 hours on a plane from where I live, and guaranteed weather all year round, and it's cheap. And they speak English, because I don't speak Spanish. Right, I'm going to wrap this up, I think. I'm going to answer this one more question. Thoughts on VAR next season? I think it's going to absolutely kill football, mate. It's a matter of an opinion. It's not a matter of fact. With goal line technology, it's a fact. Now all you're doing is taking that opinion away from the ref and putting it to a video, to somebody in a studio to make their opinion on it. So it's not a matter of fact, you know. So I just think it's going to cause mayhem next season. You know, a lot of fans in the stadium. I've been at games this season just gone where they've had VAR, and you ain't got a Scooby what's going on. You just have no idea what is going on. I know they're going to try and put it on the screens this time round, but again, it's just going to cause confusion, and fans are going to be arguing. And, you know, it's just going to cause untold dramas for no apparent reason other than the fact that the refs are not good enough. And I think that's why it's been brought in. They say they're bringing it in to make more correct decisions, but we've seen already this season. I'll give you a quick example before I go. The World Cup, France against Australia. France, I think it was Griezmann. Griezmann got pulled down for a penalty against Australia, not given. Australia play on, go up the other end and nearly score a goal. As soon as the ball goes out of play, which it then did when he put the shot wide, and he should have scored, the lad, for Australia, they then go to VAR, walk all the way back down the other end of the pitch and give him a penalty to France. Now, if that guy for Australia had scored that goal, what happens? Does the goal stand? Does the goal not stand? Does the penalty get looked at still? Does it not get looked at? Does it still get given? If it gets given, do they chalk the goal off at the other end? So many grey areas with it, mate. So, not for me. I don't want to see it in the game. I won't be watching England under 21s tonight. Thank you to over 850 people that were watching live at one point. Put a like on the video, please. Share the content around. I will be back at 9 o'clock with some more talking points of the day. Until then, I'll see you all later.